Hello guys, Austen Mengler here. I'm an artist and illustrator, and today I'm going to draw some monsters. So I'm probably just going to draw some sketches and then ink them with a biro and a pen. So we'll see how it goes. Recently I've been doing a lot of kind of head ideas and just seeing what happens when I start sketching. Maybe this can be a bat kind of big-eyed weirdo. But yeah, I like to do it quite loose the first pass, and then go over with the fine liners to get a bit of definition. But yeah, I'm just gonna, I always draw these pages of heads, and then, I sketch them out, so it's a bit boring to watch it being rendered a bit more, so I thought I'd just start fresh. I'm probably gonna do a walkthrough video of this sketchbook I'm in at the moment. It's quite a new one, but I'm already pretty far into it in terms of how many I've done, or started at least. That's my problem. Oh, that's nice. I like that idea. Like having him with some sort of weirdo necky thing. Anyway, so yeah, this is just going to be like a different kind of video, just something I wanted to try out. Maybe try doing some sort of vlog or some sort of just like a casual hangout. God, I can't speak. Need some water. A casual hangout video where we get to just chill. Yeah, like kind of like a live stream. I mean, like, it sucks because I don't think my internet is quick enough to properly stream. So I'm not sure if I'd be able to go to Twitch and do some live streaming. But I'll definitely have to check that out because it's something I'm interested in and would like to pursue in the future. It's funny how hard it is to think and draw at the same time. But yeah, okay, I'm gonna move on to the next dude. I like to do the whole page and then start rendering them all more. I think I'm just gonna give this guy a bit more of an idea of the other area. But I don't know. Oh, shading. So yeah, I've got lots of sketching. I love sketching at the moment. And doing it in biro like this is quite good for learning how to think more about the marks you're making. But yeah, I've realized that you have to do it quite quickly too, because one thing I've been trying to work on is kind of confidence in my line work. And that just means doing less strokes, which means being way more kind of confident about what sort of lines you make. So maybe this guy can be some sort of frickin' the strain, like vampire fucking thing, It's, I don't know, it's hard to try and narrate your thoughts while you're just thinking of all sort of stuff. So yeah, I do apologize in advance if this one is particularly rambly, but it's fun. It's fun to try new things. So these are just Artline drawing system pens, fine liners. I bought a pack and they've got a whole bunch of different range of sizes, which is actually really fun to experiment with using kind of that size. And then you've also got a 0.8, and that's quite a thick one. But it's great for like adding a bit of a shadow underneath. And that is really pretty much what like line weight is, just helping you out with different textures and different light versus dark areas with different bits of line. But yeah, I'm getting sidetracked again. I would like to continue concepting, because concepting is the most fun of it. Hands down, just doing the looseness, that's definitely what I get my most kicks out of. Oh, sorry. Might have just bumped it there. Let's just try and do it really light and then see who comes out. So yeah, like I like to just brainstorm ideas all on a page like this. It's quite a fun way to just explore different ideas for heads, different like demons or different. Like I like to do a lot of demons at the moment. I've got demons and like survivors and. But yeah, it'd be great for like studies as well if you want to do a whole bunch of portraits like this, or maybe something like different maybe genders or maybe different fantasy creatures. Or I guess different genders. There'd only be like two, but I mean like different age groups if you want to do some studies. Otherwise, yeah, I might be doing like more creepy ones like clowns and maybe werewolves, but I'm liking this idea of a whole page of frickin' heads because it's fun. It's and like I think a lot of the time when you're starting drawing or when you're starting a piece, I'll just turn my screen off because my screensaver is distracting me. But yeah, when you're starting a piece and you set out, okay, I'm gonna draw a dude. And you only draw the dude on the page. It can be quite a bit of pressure, for your brain to be like, oh god, I have to draw something good. So just having it on a whole page of heads and having that kind of, I don't know, like subconscious way of saying, it doesn't have to look pretty. It's just a bit of fun, because I don't have room to make them all their own individual pictures. So it kind of frees you up to be a bit more relaxed and let the ideas flow a bit more, I reckon. Because yeah, you're not scared off by the prospect of, oh, it's got to be pretty, it's got to be a final. What else should I draw? Maybe some sort of. I want to do. It's good to do this because I've drawn. I don't know, I should probably count up how many different monsters I've drawn. Like, I've done about 10 pages or more of these kind of just full spread of concepts, and it really starts getting you, like, out of the shitty ideas that you might come up with at the start, You really find your complex kind of ideas behind the artwork are really tested as well, and that's like, that's the main thing with concept art, and any sort of drawing. Really, you want to have a really good, strong idea behind whatever it is that you draw. So I'm liking the idea of giving this frickin' bat thing some sort of like a skull or something. Don't know how that would work, but it's a skull. He's kind of like a Mickey Mouse. Like a Mickey Mouse. Oh, hiya, Goofy. Can you do a Mickey Mouse? I can't do a Mickey Mouse. Oh, and also, I want to add, like, more gristle and more shit coming out of their mouths, like, pardon my language, by the way. I've been a potty mouth, but, yeah, just, like, have more kind of texture and try and get better at mark making. What I might do is I've got a bottle of ink somewhere, and this one. Oh, so I might actually try a video with that soon. If not, like right after this one. Okay. I'm getting sidetracked. Let's just go crazy. A good way to get quicker as well is to time yourself. Try and set a reminder, or try and do some stuff. See, do some stuff. Because I said that because I can't think of what I'm supposed to be saying. Because my mind is so occupied with this sort of stuff. So I think what I might do is some sort of face exploding. And it's good to like really like sculpt with your pen. And I'm really liking biro actually because it's, it's a bit like pencil in the pen realm. Because if you're doing it with a fine liner, definitely the black is a lot sexier. But you have that kind of, that kind of problem of it not having as much range. But I need to get better at using inks. This is one of the reasons I wanted to do this, is because I always kind of rely on digital to do a lot of the rendering, like the Photoshop phase with my tablet. So I wanted to get better at putting in more definition and putting more time a bit into, what should I do with his face? Maybe just an eyeball? Like, hello? It's a bit weird. Bit weird. Sorry, I got a bit of a lingering cough at the moment from a cold I recently had. Okay. Don't really like that guy. A bit shit. But it's fun to draw gristle and splooges, like. Okay, so another one. Maybe a girl this time. It's good to mix up as you can. And, I'm still going to make a monster girl, but I want it to be like a whole bunch of different ideas on one page, so I think subconsciously I try and make each one different as much as I can. But, it's good to review them as well, because you see what you kind of like, what your style is a little bit. And it's good to practice different styles, because if it's a common theme on, like, I'm going to draw all monsters. I mean, monsters is still pretty broad. Like, you could even make it more narrow. And it's a great way to focus on the ideas of what you're drawing. Like, setting limitations for yourself, I find is really helpful in like kind of freaking determining what it's going to be. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like, because I'm in Photoshop, and I can do anything. I can make it as photorealistic as I like. Just depends how long I spend on it. By limiting it to a sketch pad, it's much more. All I'm using is a pen and black and white, and I'm focusing on the design. And then because I'm just doing one type of creature, or one monster, or one page of monsters, that's another kind of freedom, or not freedom, but another self-made barrier, so that it's easier to think within that realm, as opposed to trying to think within oh god, I gotta draw anything, everything, So yeah, it's I probably took half an hour to explain that when I could have said it in 2 seconds, but it's an important freaking thing to do. So I'm liking this weird spider chick. Oh, that's the fat one. That's the fatty. So yeah, I think this one is actually a bit fat, a bit too fat, because you get the bleed of the pen when you mark it, Anyway, okay, so what I'm going to do here is try and draw it here with the fine liner instead, and then I shall shade it with the biro. I'm thinking a skull. No, I always do skulls. Maybe some sort of animal. Maybe an animal, like maybe a cat or something. Maybe like a werewolf. Let's do a werewolf. Or like a dog, a zombie dog. Some sort of zombie hound. But yeah, it's great to try different styles. You know, liking this so far, but wanting it to be a bit quicker, so I might change to the biro, and then once I start wanting to add some more definition, I can always switch back to Mr. Fine Liner, or switch to a thicker or thinner fine liner. Fine liner, what am I talking about? A fine liner, you know? But yeah, I usually do this with music as well, so that might help get you a bit more relaxed. Definitely trying to do a video while you're doing this makes it go a bit slower. Look at him, he's like, bleh. He's like, bleh. And yeah, definitely try and add as many sound effects as you can when you're drawing shit, because it's really fun to envision the character that you're drawing. Yeah, I feel like I could do a whole page of kind of different types of werewolf. Although, you know, werewolves are kind of like freaking just one type of thing. They'll all kind of look similar. Might add a bit of freaking definition. Maybe I shall show you a good way of adding a lot of definition with a thicker kind of marker or texture, and that's to just add a lot of shadow and a lot of stuff like that. And then you can even add a tongue like that. That's pretty cool. But yeah, just add all that bit in shadow so that it just looks like it's, you know, obviously behind the action. And now that it's getting too fine, I'm going to keep it, the outline, so that it's the same level of black, but it's just a completely finer tool for this job of the teeth. So yeah, that's pretty effective in adding 3 dimensions to your creepy werewolf dude's jaw, or you know, any other shadow area. Like here I might want to emphasize a bit of the backside, not backside, like not bottom, but the outer side of the weird alien lady's person's shoulder. So I might do that. And yeah, I want to have a drop shadow of this chin here. So what I might even do, if I may be so bold, is make a little bit of like a circle. Like imagine that head, like where would the shadow go? You know, like you have to just try and add a bit of shade, a bit of definition to the edges, especially of your silhouette. Like, you know, try and think about silhouette, think about line weight. Obviously the stuff underneath things is going to have a shadow from where the light is falling. Like, establish where your light source is. I usually just do top down, but you can get really more creative with it, and that just you need to just do more reference, to experiment with different light sources. Like I might try and you know, a good way to practice them would be to do this kind of thing, like a whole page of heads of different light sources. Might be something I should do, huh? Huh? Huh, punk? Alrighty, hello, I'm back. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. And now, let's get stuck right back into it. So, yeah, I'm going to try and do this a little bit quicker. I mean, I don't usually time myself, so it's hard to remember or know especially how long this kind of stuff takes. But I mean, I'm taking these guys fairly slow and trying to render them quite more strategically because I'm doing a video, you know. Because, you know, I usually do a whole bunch of just like, you know, really, really loose ideas, and then it's hard to take time to go back to them and try and render them a bit more, each one, like, on a different day. So I think what I want to do is try and just, you know, I think this is a good pace because it's pretty, like, you know, it's fairly quick. And, you know, I can always go in and do way more detail to each one. Pardon me, in Photoshop or something like that, if I wanna. But I'm just saying I should probably try and put a bit more finish on them in the time that I'm drawing them initially, because it's more fun when you're discovering it for the first time rather than coming back to an old piece and trying to finish that. See, I didn't even think about that, but I mean, that's probably why I have quite an embarrassing amount of unpublished work just sitting on my computer and being like, Austen, please, please, please finish me, you know? It's kind of annoying, but I just need to find a good way of getting that work done, or to the point where I'm like, you know, it's just a sketch, I'll just post it how it is. So I'm going to try and do that recently. There's a lot of pieces I've got where they're like 80 or 70% done, so I just need to spend a bit of time trying to focus on each one, and I'm actually thinking of launching a Patreon kind of campaign. I've been, you know, trying to do it for a while, but it's hard to. I've got quite a few things I want to do recently, and it's just hard to figure out the best one. But I think if I have a Patreon, like, you know, that'll just help everything, hopefully. You know, just to try and get some sort of structure, because, yeah, I'm a bit of. I kind of need to work on that. Oh, I don't know if I should have done that, given him some hair. That looks a bit shit. But yeah, I need to get a bit more organization happening, because I've been a bit just winging it. But, you know, you learn as you go, and it is a month at the moment where I don't have any shows on, so I'm just getting ready for them. I don't know if I should have done that with the hair thing. That looks a bit shit. Maybe he's a hyena. That would be cool. Maybe he's got like blood. Maybe he's got a cut. And he's like. Anyway, I need to move on to the next dude. I like this chick. This weird neck thing. But yeah, I don't know. I need to talk more on these things about interesting things. So this one here was just to see how it went. But I'll probably do more later where I think about topics or think about things to talk about. I like write them down, I mean, and then pick a topic If you have any suggestions, be sure to let me know. Because yeah, it's like I want to use kind of, these recordings as both fun for you guys to watch, but also just like a good way for me to get more in the habit of concentrating on this sort of stuff, because it's like I spend a lot of time like doing a little bit of all the stuff I need to do, and like all of the boring stuff of it, like emails and all that, a lot. So yeah, I never really get a chance to dig in deep, just because it's hard to, I don't know, I just get distracted because I'm a bastard, I guess. But what I'm saying is it'd be cool to, do more videos, because then I've got a set thing I need to record, and, I'm talking to you guys about it, so it's helping me be a bit productive. But yeah, okay, let's draw. What should I draw? Frickin' hell. I always just draw it, like, because no one's watching, and it's like, now you guys are all watching me. I'm like, what do I draw? It has to be something cool, It has to be something really cool. That's the pressure. That's the pressure with all this stuff. Well, I drew a werewolf. Didn't give him enough definition, did I? I mean, let's be honest. Let's be honest. What should I draw? Let's do it with pen, because that wielded quite a creative, different kind of a result. How about some sort of zombie? I did something I'm not used to, so I'll do something I am used to try and just refresh my brain. Maybe like a sort of finger kind of face. I've got a real thing for like fingers recently. It's a bit weird to say, but it's true. I'm liking experimenting with like just like faces of like weird appendages that you shouldn't see on a face, You know what I'm saying? Because it's really disturbing, and I like making my artwork more disturbing, because it's horror. So that's what you would want it to be. So I might make it a nice little face. Oh, he's got teeth. He's like. I watched the movie frickin' Hellboy recently. Again, the first one. Oh, what a classic. What a classic film. Have you seen it? You should watch it. I watched it on Blu-ray, and it was fantastic. But yeah, like old comic book movies are so charming, because they don't know how big they're gonna be, and they're trying their damnedest to be fun for the whole family. But yeah, I've been watching more podcasts recently. Well, not really, but I'm making a video where I can tell you about them. So let's just get on with it, shall we? But yeah, obviously, One Fantastic Week is a good motivator. It's with Pete Morbacher and Sam Flegel, who are some cool dudes from America, and they both worked with like magic and all these kind of clients, kind of fantasy illustration, and then now they're doing their own thing and doing well with it. So it's cool to hear a behind the scenes kind of kind of like what their business is like and how it's going, and because it's the same sort of things I'm gonna be getting up to, and I am currently doing. But it's cool to see someone who's a little bit ahead of you, but is so open about it and so kind of just down to earth. And you get a lot of because there's a lot of cool artists on the web, myself included. Just kidding. But it's sometimes a bit daunting to see all their work and just see just work of everyone else. So when you're seeing like a podcast or some sort of behind the scenes content that's you know, encouraging, and you can see how they made it, it really helps to demystify the magic a little bit, or, you know, not in a bad way, but in a way that's more consumable, where you're like, oh, okay, that's how they did it, that's really cool, and maybe I could do that. So yeah, that was a big ramble, but that's kind of like also why I like putting out longer content too when I can. It takes a little bit for me to edit it because I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but no, I want to do more videos, and I want to use them as a good tool to both update you guys on what I'm doing, and also just have more fun with art. So yeah, that guy's pretty cool. He's kind of like Hellboyish. But yeah, obviously you can spend as much time on these kind of things as you want. I'm just doing them, like, even this is pretty slow compared to how I usually do them. But it's not a bad thing in this case, because I'm actually finishing each one more before going to the next. So that's a good way of just telling yourself to get more definition. Being like, I can't go to the next one until I finish this one. Although it's also fun to just jump around a bit and just try different freaking bits at a time. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I want to give this guy a bit of spit, like. And it's good to give your faces like space, you know. Give your faces a bit of spaces, you know. Like, I don't want to put anything right here, because that's where the air from his mouth is going to go. And I don't want to put, I mean, like, I've kind of, that's a bit too close. I know it looks silly now. But I might add some more tentacles. I think I might do that, actually, but I'll see how I go. You know, behind this chick's head, because, you know, it just looks a bit fake, like they don't cross over. But saying that, I'm going to make it as dark as I can, so that you can still see the shade, the shaded bit in front of it. So yeah, let's draw another freaking face. You know, sometimes it's just good to start and then just figure out what you're doing when you're doing it. Maybe this guy is some sort of freak with, like, I just had a really stupid thought of he could just have like a finger for a head. Like a whole finger for a head. That's really weird. Why are you thinking of this stuff? That's just weird, man. Finger-headed buddy. And then he's got his own hands, you know. And a body and boobs. That is really gross. That might be the most weird one I've drawn yet, just because it's like, it doesn't even have a head, it's just a finger. Anyway, it's interesting to see what you come up with, you know, when you... Oh, sorry, I think my computer just turned off. I probably should have turned that off earlier. Apologies again. Oh, and it's back on again. Okay, I'm going to turn it off right now. Sorry. Okay, so it's kind of off. I've actually decided to just keep it on for this video because I didn't turn it off at the start, so it'd sound a bit weird if the audio just got very quiet right now. But anyway, what was I saying? I can't even remember. Let's just continue on and just render the shit out of these monsters. Oh yeah, I did the finger dude, and he's really weird. Ew. Ew, Austin, what are you doing? That's gross. Right, so finger dude done. Let's do a little head thing here. Maybe someone with a face, someone with ears. Some sort of weird box-headed demon. Maybe with like eyebrows and actual features. Because it's good to like put different types of things in close proximity to each other to make them quite feed off each other, you know? Juxtaposition and all that jazz. So maybe this guy is like a weird demon, but with a face. He's like, meh. He's got a weird chin. He's got a dangly little weird freaking jawline, man. Look at him. What a hunk. What a hunk. What a babe. Hey there, good looking. Hey there, good looking. And giving him some sexy ass eyes. Is that a man or a woman? I don't even know. Who knows? Who knows? Giving him a bit of weird scarring. Make him some sort of skeletal or mystical kind of fantasy vibes, just so he fits in with the rest of the gang. Don't want him to be a ugly plum pudding, you know what I mean? But yeah, apologies if I'm getting pretty silly. Just having fun, being productive with the monsters. Okay, let's draw, I reckon, one more, two more. You don't want to overcrowd the pages, you know? You want to make them nicely spaced. So I think I'll put quite a skeletal, creepy dude with lots of teeth. Because, you know, I just did a dude who was more kind of realistic in terms of he had flesh. He has flesh, you know? He has skin. We have skin, so he's more realistic. Note to self, adding skin to things, and especially faces, makes it more realistic. But yeah, what I mean is that I've just drawn this dude who's got all like his expressions. So now I'm gonna give myself a little treat by drawing this freaking zombie thing with lots of decaying flesh and a tongue, and he like you know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I need to add a bit more definition, but don't make it too messy. And it's always good to have a reference. I've got my trusty skull, so I might just have a look there and be like, you know what I mean? Just to see where the curves, the main curves are, and then I will just make it up, just to make it a bit more natural, and a bit more my own style instead of like a just a copy. So yeah, he's looking pretty standard zombie shitty monster man thing, you know. Maybe I'll, you know, because sometimes you can like halfway through you drawing someone, if they're not looking cool, think of ways to make them cool, you know, like maybe I shall add, I've got like, you know, this whole skull thing going on. Maybe I'll add like his flesh is like just sliding off or something. Maybe he's like maybe half zombie, half man. Got a bit more veins on him. Sometimes detail is a good addition. But, you know, sometimes it's good just to stick with something that is something a bit more relatable, you know. I'm finding now that, you know, I'm having fun with, like, as I mentioned, fingers and mixing that and, like, human anatomy. You know, I'm finding with horror, a lot of it you need to have the juxtaposition, or, you know, have a horrific thing, but then have it next to something that is innocent, or something that is, you know, normal. Like, so, you know, have human anatomy, or have, you know, recognizable body parts like hands and feet, and that's why Dead Space, the monsters are also freaking disturbing, because you can recognize, oh my god, that's a rib cage, and that's a head, and that's a body, and, you know, that's why it's freaking weird, because you can see where all the bits came from, you know. So just try and keep that in mind, especially when you're thinking about horror. You know, because stuff like her, you know, like, you know that these guys, like, a lot of them are weird. Okay, I'm gonna add freaking fingers to this dude because he's just annoying me. Ooh, mama. But see, I'm going to colour the entire thing in black so that it is definitely behind the shaded back bit on her, you know? And then I might add a bit more to these ones, especially this one here, just so that they're on the same kind of scale. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember. But yeah, I'll just add another one. And it's okay to put it right next to the face there, because as long as I keep it all black, it'll still make the areas pop. I'm trying to do that a bit more now, where I make areas pop by adding more contrast to the other areas. You know, so that sometimes, you know, if I've got a skull or something, and I want to, you know, imply that he's got a coat or some sort of, you know, hair, it might be worth just, you know, spending the extra time and colouring it in, or shading it, so that it adds more definition to the forms surrounding it as well. You know, I'm still getting better at it, but obviously, you know, this here, the contour of this chick's head can easily be manipulated because I'm on the black, you know? You know? So, for instance, you know, it and you can just keep adding an edge to make it sexier. So it's all about edges. It's all about edges and adding soft shades and then harsh shades and thinking about where the light is, and then just kind of rendering and sculpting your shapes and your shadows from the pen or the pencil or anything like that. So with this guy, he was pretty boring at the start, so now I'm going to just add some weird, like, kind of torture spikes. Made them a bit taller. Just to add a bit of frickin' la-di-da, you know, stuff. I kind of did like the negative space next to that weird dude's head, so I don't want to interfere with that too much. But I just did again. Oh well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But yeah. Not sure if this is going to be a fun video or a boring one, but we shall see. Give me a like if you like the video, and if you don't like the video, just be sure to give a like anyway, because I don't want any dislikes. I don't want a single one, and if I get one, Jesus, you know what I mean? Like, holy. But yeah, I want to do more content, and I want to add more stuff and more bells and whistles. And yeah, I am busy. I am working on a lot of stuff. It's hard to post updates, but I'm gonna try and get there. I'm a bit more active on Facebook and DeviantArt, and I'm trying to get better at Instagram. I still need to like maybe take a video, like a raw live video, and then just post it, or like get better at posting GIFs or GIFs or whatever you say, and then I'm still working on that. So I think I have one more page, one more head. See how it goes. What should I do? Leave me a comment saying what you want me to do. I won't be able to see it, but I'm using the power of grayscale, and I'm trying to harness the future messages and the future kind of vibes I'm getting. I'm just gonna wing it. I've only got one chick, so two chicks. So I might do another chick. A chick, yeah. Maybe a chicken. No, I'll do a lady, like a lady chick, So I'm gonna give her a shoulder there, and just, you want to just be quite gestural. If you don't know what you're doing, just figure it out on the fly and be like, oh, okay, that's what I'm doing. So maybe she has some, and I'm thinking about the space I'm going to draw in. So this space here is all free. So maybe I could give her like some sort of freaking scorpion tail, or some sort of disgusting, proboscis or something on the back of her head. I'm laughing at my own ideas, aren't I? But yeah, no, that's a really nice idea. Just how do I do it? Maybe I'll do like a scorpion kind of freaking gross little tail thing. Yeah. Yep, she's a scorpion lady. Scorpion lady, yeah. Scorpion lady, yeah. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, boys. And then I'm gonna make her freaking hideous. Freaking hideous. But she's like, hey, hello, I am a scorpion lady. But yeah, usually when I'm doing this, I might put a YouTube video on, or I might put, it's just when this is like, these sketches here are usually just for my downtime. And, sometimes I think it is a good idea just to try and doodle, just to access your subconscious. Maybe listen to music, maybe something not too distracting. If you are going to watch something, maybe something that you've seen before, or a podcast, or something cool. And then just see what happens, see what comes out, because, especially if you're stuck, it's good to, try and take a bit of pressure off by drawing something. I mean, obviously you don't want to be just only working whenever you're, watching something, and it's good like this to think and do both quick stuff, but then also be, assessing what you're doing. But, you know, it's great to try different stuff all the time. Try different ways of drawing and different mediums. Try different times of spending on each piece. Try doing lots of little sketches like this, and then try spending like a whole day on one picture. Yeah, I think what the next thing for me would be is, and something, you know, I'm working towards, is definitely more kind of story illustration work instead of single characters and concepts. Do more in the way of putting them in stories and putting them in illustrations that have a narrative. But you know, I'm working towards that, and it's, you know, definitely something I have done and something I try and do more of. And then, you know, big projects that I have, like execution and all that, which you can read more about in the description of the video, are gonna have way more stuff like that, so it's gonna be good to get into that more kind of narrative driven work. But yeah, you know, it's always fine to have things you need to work on, as long as you do work on them. So what I'm thinking I might do with this dude is have some sort of like spine coming down there, like he's suspended. Like he's got a frickin' long neck that likes to party. I need to give him more eyeshadow because he likes kiss. You know what I mean? Yeah, eyes and teeth and creepy stuff is the most fun. I mean, it's gotta be. It's drawing monsters. Who wouldn't like drawing monsters? I really do think that I feel a lot better once I've drawn a whole page of monsters. It's very therapeutic kind of art to be drawing hideous things, because, you know, sometimes you feel hideous and you want to get it out of your system, and drawing people who are way more hideous than you is really fun. So, you know, art is a good therapy. It's been proven. Don't quote me on that, but it has. I might even frickin' take this lady's eye completely out. So she's just like, hello boys. Hello boys. You know what I mean? Because that looks even creepier. Like, and now I've got two skeleton chick, like a guy and a girl, on either side. Maybe I could give this guy like fingers or something. I don't know. I'll continue it later. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. You know, and then what I'll do in Photoshop is usually just I might spend a bit more time on these, and then what I'll do in Photoshop is scan them with a scanner, and then just, you know, keep rendering them with a tablet. But I'll probably you know, add a bit more definition, maybe add some quick splatter brushes, and then, you know, just keep that as a file. And then if I ever get stuck on a piece or need a monster, it's always cool to see that I've got a whole bunch saved here, like, you know, and, you know, all these are, because you scan them, you get a nice high-res version of it. So it's yeah, it's great to be able to just work on it. And then what you can also do is crop or select different bits of the different pages. Like, you know, if you like one monster in particular, like I'm feeling this guy here with the fingers is a pretty weird and strong monster, like in terms of originality. So what I might do is just lasso tool around this guy and then put him on his own page, a new document, and then start painting him. And just using multiply and using different layers to add a bit of more definition, a bit more texture. And definitely color as well, you know. Color is a great one to add differences to your monsters, and a great tool to use. I need to use it more, and especially with traditional stuff. So yeah, maybe I should get some Copic markers or something. Haha. But yeah, here I'm just trying to add a bit of depth, I guess, to the white kind of noise kind of space that these guys all sit in at the moment. It's cool to just try and show that they're all either behind or in front of one another. I don't know, maybe I'm overdoing it a bit on this guy here. But yeah, as I mentioned, I want to do a weird, like, you know, like a weird, like, and yeah, as you go, you like, you know, now that I'm using more black in my works and more kind of definition of the line, I'm just drawing in the edge there, and then what I can do is just go in and color the whole thing in. So I'm, you know, not just thinking about line, but thinking about drawing a whole, not, you know, just drawing the outline of the block of color, or shade in this case. So yeah, I just, you know, it's interesting when I look at myself drawing compared to how I used to, where I just do lots of, just use the same kind of pen for everything. I mean, it's a pretty basic thing, but, you know, using different pens for different areas is pretty time efficient. Like here, now I've got a big fatty area, so I can just block it all in. But yeah, definitely fun practice. But yeah, once I'm done with this dude, I think it'll be pretty much it. Stop saying so much. Stop smacking your lips as well, you silly Billy. So yeah, like sometimes it takes a while for it to take the desired effect, but it's a good way of kind of adding a bit of pop. So what I might do here as well is, you know, show that the black area is the shadow by kind of thinking about the form of the kind of spine that he's got going here. Like, it's going to be a round kind of sphere, so it doesn't really matter in the black because that's just all black, but on the edge try and show a bit of a gradient, a bit of a like curve to the line instead of it just being a flat thing. Having it curve around shows that it wraps around the form a bit better. I've kind of gone too good into that bit, so I'm just gonna. No, I've kind of messed that up, haven't I? I mean, it'll look better, you know. It's a bit of it's just because the biro is a more blue kind of black than the kind of art lines. But, you know, once you go into Photoshop, you can just convert it to completely black and white, and then it takes any color out of it if you want. Yeah, but I don't know, it kind of looks okay. And then, you know, that black underneath now looks way too domineering compared to the rest of the face. So all you got to do is, you know, if you've got a black section there, add a bit more contrast in the like crevice-y areas, I guess. But you know, it's a lot of stuff I'm saying here is not really stuff I consciously think about, like when I'm drawing. It's just stuff you like, you know, you learn just through doing it and just through getting an eye for it. Excuse me. Like this bit here. This bit is behind this first claw here, so all you want to do is make it a different shade. You've pretty much got 3 shades. Well, I do at the moment. I've got fully coloured in with biro as the midground, white as the lightest colour, lightest shade, and then obviously black, like this kind of outline pen black, as the utmost darkest colour. So all you're doing is deciding how much of which to put where, and it's, you know, once you break it down to that, it makes it a lot easier, and you know, it's just it's more fun to look at in a sketchbook, and that's what I want to try and do more of. I mean, it takes longer, but it definitely is more fun for me anyway. And I don't know, I think I need to find a better way of spending a longer time in Photoshop, because I seem to much prefer this stage of the art as opposed to just rendering and carrying out the digital aspect, which is bad because, you know, I am supposed to be a digital artist apparently, so I don't know, but you know, it's you know, you know what I mean, like, exactly. But yeah, I think this page is pretty much done, so I might call it there. Also, what you want to do is sign your work. Oh, should I use 0.8? I might use it mid-ground, 0.5. Done. So I'll probably do heaps more of work on this page now that I've said that. But yes, I hope this was somewhat useful, and thanks again for watching. You can check out more of my work on austenmengler.com, or be sure to check out more videos. Got more kind of sketchbook walkthroughs like this one, and more kind of life drawing, kind of interesting, different things I want to look at, and just try and get into the habit of having more fun with videos. Cool. Thanks guys, and I'll catch you around.